Morning, good afternoon, students. My name is Neeti Negi, Assistant Professor, School of Architecture, Galgotias University. Today's topic of presentation is cracks in buildings. Moving towards the next slide, prerequisites. We already discussed in our introduction to building construction class about different defects and remedies in buildings such as cracks, dampness, summaries of Indian standards for using different building materials, concrete reinforcement and detailing as per the standards. Then what are the functional requirements of buildings. The main objectives of this presentation of the topic cracks and buildings is to study the various defects in buildings and their remedies in detail, different defects caused by cracks, applied forces and due to change in size. Then what are all the techniques to repair all these cracks, and one of the case studies of understanding and identifying cracks in buildings and the remedial measure for the same. So we are going to study all these topics in our in this presentation. Introduction to cracks. Cracks can be defined as a narrow opening between two things or part of things, or a line on a surface where something is beginning to break apart. As you can see in this image, you know, this is your crack, and these cracks are further classified into two categories. One is structural cracks and second is non-structural cracks. So the structural cracks are the cracks which occur due to the fault in design, due to the fault in construction, or sometimes overloading leads to cracks which may endanger safety of buildings. So these structural cracks are also further divided into three types of cracks. One is known as dead cracks. Dead cracks are those cracks which remains constant in width with the passage of time and have reached stable condition, which means the width of the cracks remains constant with respect to time. Then next is your live cracks. Live cracks are those cracks which open and closed with effect of temperature, change in temperature, moisture, loading and unloading, known as live cracks. And the third type of crack is growing cracks. Growing cracks are those cracks in which the width of cracks increase with the passage of time. So there are three types of cracks which we are going to study in detail in next slide. So the next classification is non-structural cracks, also known as hair cracks, and these are the cracks which are formed generally due to the internal forces developed in the building materials, due to the change in moisture, due to the change in temperature, and for the same we can take some remedial measures to prevent or to control it. So these cracks may vary in width from very thin hair crack, barely visible to naked eye, to gaping crack. Depending upon the crack width, these cracks are further classified as thin cracks. So if you See these images. This is your thin crack, which is less than 1 mm in width. Then comes to the next medium crack, which is 1 to 2 mm in width. Then this is your wide crack, which is more than 2 mm width. This is your width, the width of the crack. Then comes to the next point, next topic, crazing. So crazing is a term which is used in cracks very frequently, which is defined as the occurrence of closely spaced fine cracks at the surface of material is called crazing. As you can see in this image, see, these are very fine cracks and which are spaced very closely to each other, and might be you have seen these type of patches, these types of fine cracks at your place, in your buildings, or maybe somewhere. So this type of patches, these types of fine cracks at the surface is known as crazy, and these are the network of the random cracks on the surface of concrete or mortar, which is caused by shrinkage of the surface layer. So this is one term which is very frequently used. Then next topic is so next topic is causes of occurrence of cracks in buildings. So first is the moisture movement. In most of the buildings, what happen, they have some pores left in their structure in the form of intermolecular, such as in concrete, mortar, bricks, etc., which expand on absorbing moisture and shrink on drying. So these movements are reversible. Initial shrinkage is partly irreversible and occurs in all buildings material which are cement, lime based, example concrete, mortar, masonry, etc. You can see in this diagram, in this sectional elevation. So is this the movement of the moisture in vertical direction. Then comes to the next point. Next is thermal expansion. Thermal expansion is because of variation in atmospheric temperature. Due to the change in temperature, there will be a thermal movement in building components. So it depends on color and surface characteristics of exposed building surfaces. For example, the dark colored surfaces and rough textured materials have lower reflectivity, and hence rise in temperature is more for these surfaces. So in these diagrams you can see, there is this gap, there is this gap, 25 gap, which is left purposely uh, because of the expansion of material due to the change in temperature. Again, in this wall, the expansion joints are expansion joints are designed in slabs. These are again in this also. So these expansion joint construction joints control joints, slip joints are constructed as a preventive measure for thermal expansion. Then comes to the next point. Then comes to the next, which is elastic deformation. Structural components of a building, such as walls, columns, beams, and slabs, generally consist of materials like masonry, concrete, steel, etc. Undergoes elastic deformation due to the load in accordance with Hooke's law. So the amount of deformation depends upon the elastic modulus of the material, the elastic property of the material, the magnitude of loading and dimension of the component. So in this image you can see the cracks, the vertical cracks and the diagonal cracks in the building. So these are the vertical cracks below the sill level of windows, and these are the diagonal cracks. Then comes to the next cause, foundation movement and settlement of soil. So shear cracks, which we discussed earlier in the types of cracks, it occurs when there is large differential settlement of foundation due to unequal bearing pressure under different parts of the structure, or due to the bearing pressure on soil being in excess of, say, bearing strength of the soil, or due to the low factor of safety in the design of foundation. And the preventive measure is to construct the foundation of building on firm ground, on stable ground while doing construction, and tie up the buildings with connecting beams at foundation level, door level and roof level. Then comes to the next slide. So the next slide is all about the techniques to repair cracks. So one of the technique is epoxy injection. Epoxy injection is an economical method of repairing non-moving cracks in concrete walls, slabs, columns and piers, etc., which is capable of restoring the concrete to its pre-cracked strength. And this is always done on the exposed surface under the pressure, as you can see in these images. These are the images for epoxy injections. Injecting. This is a technique, injecting. Then comes to the next, gravity filling. So in gravity filling, some kind of resins and low viscosity monomers, they are used to seal or to fill the cracks with surface width of 0.001 and to 0.08. And for these type of cracks, some of the molecules are used, such as methacrylates, urethanes, and some kind of low viscosity epoxies are also used successfully. Then next is routing and sealing. So routing and sealing, in this type of method, uh, crack is made wider at the surface with a saw or grinder, and then a groove, and then that particular groove is filled with a sealant, with a flexible sealant material. This is a very common technique used for crack treatment, and it is one of the simple procedure among the others. Then comes to the next stitching. Stitching is a method which is provide a permanent structural repairs for masonry repairs and cracked wall reinforcement. It is done by drilling holes on both of the side of the cracks and then cleaning the holes and anchoring the legs of the staples in the hole with a non-shrink grout. Then comes to the dry packing. It is the hand placement of a low water cement mortar followed by tamping or ramming of the mortar in the place and helps in producing intimate contact between the mortar and the existing concrete. Then next is your polymer impregnation in which monomer systems used for effective repair of some cracks in which a liquid consisting of monomers is filled which will polymerize into a solid, and this is a very common monomer and the most common monomer used for this purpose is methyl methacrylate, and this image you are seeing is the image for this stitching which we discussed first. See, drilling holes on both the sides. Now we are going to discuss some of the case studies of cracks. So this is your first crack, diagonal cracks in brick walls. As you can see in this image, these type of cracks are known as diagonal cracks, and the causes we already discussed. The causes are very common for all. We are going to just go through with all the case studies. Then this is your diagonal cracks. Then comes to the next crack. This is diagonal cracks in a wall, which is you can see wide at bottom and gets narrow at the top. And this is one of the causes is differential settlement in foundation due to the expansion by absorption of moisture. Then comes to the next case study. So the next case is horizontal cracks in brick mortar joints. As you can see, these are the horizontal cracks in the building, which occurs due to the weakening of mortar because of sulfate attack. These type of cracks generally occur after 2 to 3 years of construction, as the reaction is slow. Then these are some of the remedies you can go through with. Then the next type of case is cracks in load-bearing masonry walls below RCC slabs. Means when the cracks occur just below the RCC slab. For example, like here at the junction where this wall meets to the slab. So this happened due to the absence of slip joint we discussed earlier in the types cracks. The absence of slip joint between the RCC slab and wall, which does not allow RCC slab to move freely over wall, leads to cracking in the walls. Then next is vertical cracks at junction of main wall and cross wall. For example, like this type of cracks. For example, there is this one wall, wall A, and vertical wall A, and there is this wall B, horizontal wall. So when the crack developed at the junction, This is the another type of case study, and this happened because of improper bonding of cross walls with the main walls by not leaving proper keys in the main wall. You can see this is the construction detail of the RCC slab over the masonry wall. Then the last cases, the horizontal cracks between the parapet wall and the roof slab. So this is in section you can see like this. Here is this crack. Here, these are the cracks. No, this is the slab and this is your wall. These are the cracks developed. So these type of cracks develop due to the change in temperature, due to the thermal expansion and contraction, uh, and the remedies of these type of cracks you can go through with this. Then comes to the next slide. This is all about the cracks. Now this is your assignment for this presentation. First, you have to analyze any building in your vicinity, in your neighborhood. Doesn't matter the nature of building. It can be residential, it can be institutional, it can be any building. You have to just analyze that building with respect to the classification of cracks, and you have to click number of photos of the particular cracks, and you have to identify all these cracks. And then after identifying all these cracks, you have to sketch any two types of cracks, and then suggest some remedies for the same with respect to all the cases we discussed in earlier slides. So moving towards the next slide, which is references for the cracks. These are the references you can study in detail about the defects and the remedial measures. You can go through with the sections for the same. Uh, this book is very informative book, and these are some publications you can go through with. So this is all about the cracks we discussed today. In next class we will discuss your assignments, and that's it. This is all for today's class. So see you all in the next class. Thank you.